Today we're going to hear about developing your dream. Joy in the City is a program that highlights people and organizations having an impact in our city. All too often we hear about the problems and dysfunction in our culture, but we are coming with a different approach as we take a look at the good things that are going on right here in our community. I'm Bethany Marshall, and you're about to see what God is doing in our city. Recently, at our annual Join the City live benefit dinner, our executive director, Troy Ferguson, sat down with Spencer Folmar, a Hollywood writer, director, and filmmaker in an interview-style discussion on the process and disciplines required to develop a dream. This is an interview from that live event.
Can I ask you something?
What is it?
Take your brother back home.
So what's in her hometown?
Dad. The loner brother was in love. Is still in love? Surprised to see you.
Yeah, I'm back.
And this place looks worse than the sun's up.
This is someone's home and you never disrespect them. Even if it's your own.
Yeah, some things never change, do they?
No, they don't. No matter how hard you try.
What did the sheriff mean? She had bad history of repeating.
Family. I just want the pain to go away.
Where are you? Where are you?
Living has been hard. But dying, it'll be easy.
Tell me, how do you forgive Bill for what he did?
You left me too, Drew.
I had to leave.
You walk in here acting like things have changed. Like you've changed.
The man should be able to look at himself in the mirror. Look himself in the eye and know exactly who he is. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it.
Can you now?
I'm just so scared I'm gonna end up like him.
That was a trailer to a film called Generational Sins that Spencer wrote and directed and produced. And so that was about 2 years ago, that film. Tell me about hard faith films, which is what was the genre in which this was produced.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here, Troy. It's a real honor to be here amongst you all. So Generational Sins was my third feature film, and it's something I filmed in this area. It came out October 6th of October 17. And so it came under the new label. It's actually a trademark of ours called Hard Faith. And where the inspiration came for this, what we call a genre of film, was a lot from my own personal experience. I didn't grow up in the church, wasn't aware of what we call faith-based films whatsoever. And so when I came to faith in my early 20s, and I then discovered the world of faith-based films, I wasn't a big fan of a lot of them. And so I felt like if I was going to tell a film and it dealt with God, it was going to deal with issues of the heart and issues that usually bring people to conversion.
Now, hard faith films, a little bit different than typical traditional faith-based Christian films. Hard faith films hits things a little bit differently, and there's a little bit of, in the Christian culture, a little bit of controversy around some things with it. Why don't you address, we're just going to hit the elephant in the room right off the bat, address your approach to what's controversial and why do you go that direction?
Yeah, absolutely. So our films, Generational Sins is about two brothers who return home to reconcile with their alcoholic and abusive father. So that's some pretty heavy material. And it's material that isn't necessarily kid-friendly. And hard faith films, we look to show the world as it actually is and not as we would like it to be. So often faith-based films censor the world, and they actually create a reality that has never existed. And it's a fake reality that shows the world as we would like it to be, where no one says any four-letter words, or there's no violence, there's nothing PG-13, there's nothing R-rated. But the world in which we live in, and thankfully the way that the Bible talks about the world, it doesn't hold back any punches, because this world is so unrated. My heart is so unrated. The human condition, sin and depravity, is so bad that we could never get it approved by the MPAA. And so I think that films, in depicting the real world, should do so honestly.
So this Hard Faith Films and your journey of filmmaking, talk to us a little bit. Tonight's about dreaming, and this particular section is about developing your dream. Talk to us a little bit about maybe a snapshot of how you have developed this dream in what you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in central Pennsylvania, went to a little high school called West Branch, and I live now in Hollywood and produce and direct films full time. And I was fortunate. From a very young age, I knew that I wanted to be in film production. I knew I wanted to direct movies. Fell in love with cinema, going to the drive-in in Clearfield at the Super 322, going to the Roland Theater, and I love movies. And so pretty much my entire life, since elementary school, has been leading towards this career, has been leading towards developing this skill and this craft. It's a lot of, obviously, hard work. And there's a lot of different ways that you can climb the ladder in Hollywood. I went to film school. I went to NYU for my Master's of Fine Arts in Film, attended various other film schools, and I made my first feature film 13 years ago. So this has been a long journey.
Wow. Well, Spencer's going to tell us a lot more a little later as our keynote speaker, but I just want to get a little snapshot of his process, and I would just like you to appreciate him as we wrap up this segment. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's all the time we have today. Thanks for watching Join the City True Stories. Let me encourage you to watch other episodes of people and organizations having an impact on our community through our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Be encouraged, because God is moving in our city.
God is